Hi YouTube and welcome to Danielle's Denture Diaries. I am Danielle and tonight I want to talk a little bit about self-image. I feel like this is something that can be interpreted on multiple levels. When I say self-image, that could be actually a couple things. It could be the way you see yourself or the way that you internalize how you think other people perceive you. And I feel like that's just something that we denture wearers at some point or another have maybe talked about it, maybe we've thought about it, maybe we researched it. Kind of goes hand in hand with, once I get dentures, is anyone ever going to be able to tell that I am in fact wearing dentures? But I think the more important baseline isn't that, are people going to be able to tell? I think at the end of the day, no. Unless someone looks really, really hard at what your teeth look like. And unless you're drawing attention to them, probably not. I just don't see anyone doing that. And maybe that is, again, me having more faith in humanity, that's just not what people are looking at or looking for. People are going to look for, are you smiling? Do you have a friendly, warm personality? What do your eyes say? What I think is more important than that, though, is how do we see ourselves, even through difficult times? And I'm not just talking about things like dentures. It can be a number of things. It can be, like me, I have acne. I get acne pretty bad. A bad hair day or a haircut you regret. Or it could be something that you've always had. Maybe it's, I have a small scar like right here. You can't see it, and typically most people don't even notice it. I just notice it because I put my makeup on, and it's one of those things where I'm like, oh my gosh, I have this scar on my face. And it's like, oh, do I actually think anyone even notices that though? And it's just a thing. It can be anything that affects your self-image. But I wanted to talk about that because I feel like that is a very important fundamental baseline to talk about even before you get dentures. Because if you already have struggles with self-image, in a last video, one of the last videos that I had made, I highly recommend you do seek help, whether it's a counselor, a therapist, before you even get dentures. If you feel you already struggle with things like anxiety, depression, or other things that could impact the way you look at yourself and value yourself in your life, please go get that professional help. But I feel like this helps too. Not necessarily something that, at least not for me, I don't need therapy for it, but it's really nice to build awareness. So on handy dandy Google, I've been using that a lot lately. What is self-image? Self-image is the personal view or mental picture that we have of ourselves. Self-image is an internal dictionary that describes the characteristics of the self, including such things as intelligent, beautiful, ugly, talented, selfish, kind. And that is from my.clevelandclinic.org. Before we dive into how to improve self-image, it's a topic I'd like to explore more. Because again, I think the more we can become aware to how we have this internal dialogue to ourselves, the more that we can check it back, the more that we can counteract it, the more we can do something to interrupt those thoughts and reroute to something else. What are some examples of self-image? A positive self-image is having a good view of yourself. For example, seeing yourself as an attractive and desirable person. Having an image of yourself as a smart and intelligent person. Seeing a happy, healthy person when you look in the mirror. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Because everybody's attractive. I don't care what anyone says, and I'm not saying that on a romantic level to anyone here, so please stick with me. I'm saying that on a level of, it would never cross my mind to say that there's an ugly human. And you can take that to the religion route, you can take it to whatever route you want. If you're a decent and kind human, you never have to go after somebody's looks, as far as like, I don't even know, insert Radiant Brit video here. There's just no reason for it. You are attractive. Struggled with this personally, because it went from me feeling as though I were undesirable because of some of the things my family put me through, to them, not being there for me. So I felt, okay, well, surely that means and calculates to, I am undesirable. I am not necessary in anyone's life. I'm not needed. Then transition to, oh, I am needed, but I was needed by the wrong kinds of people who fed and fueled off that insecurity, because I would cater and I would give and I would make life easier for someone else, but they never poured it back. So I was desired, but not desired properly, to finally coming full circle to, even if I think me as a person am an undesirable person, I will tell you where and how I am desired is by my son. My son needs me. He needs me. And he loves me. And I am, at the moment, a superhero to him. The things that I do and the things I come up with to surprise him, and the light in his eyes that just sparkle because he's like, oh my gosh, that was my favorite thing, or whatever it was. And so it doesn't have to be romantic, i.e., and you go through phases, right? Having an image of yourself as smart and intelligent, this almost turns into more like a mantra, or somebody saying the word right now that I'm trying to say. Someone is saying it. It's when you, affirmations, yes, thank you. When you look in the mirror, this goes back to that book that I've been reading, the Psycho-Cybernetics. Oh my gosh, I said it right. There is no such thing as a stupid person. There's no such thing as someone who is inferior. In fact, a lot of that is just a roadblock we place on ourselves. We get one math test wrong and fail it, get a lower grade, whatever, and then we go home and someone says, oh, they're just not that good at math. I'm talking about myself here. And then it follows you. And then eventually you get another failed test. Or maybe someone makes a comment in class. So you throw in the towel. You're like, okay, well, I'm just not good at math. And some people are just not good at math. But given the ability to reroute, you can be. No one shut the door on you and said you're not allowed to be an intelligent person. You can be, and in fact, you are. I'm talking to you directly right now. You are intelligent. I don't care in what way that you think you are in fact intelligent. I guarantee you there are hundreds and thousands of things that you have experienced in life that you firsthand know about that I don't. And I'll call myself a pretty intelligent person. Am I the best at math where I can calculate things in my head like Matt can in 10 seconds? Absolutely not. What I do have that some people do struggle with is I have emotional intelligence. I'm pretty good with it. I'm all right with it. I guarantee you there are things that that would shock the crap out of me. I would be like, wait, what? That's a what? You did what? You can what? Ice fishing. I just learned about ice fishing. Apparently it's not in a tent. Like an actual tent on the ice. It's in like a little trailer with a hole in it, and you can sit on the couch and play video games on a TV. Is that even fishing anymore? I'm kidding. Matt ice fishes. Anyways, I'll move on. Seeing a happy, healthy person when you look in the mirror. This right here is where I struggled. Some of us struggled. Is that we get put into this situation, however it was that we got here, where we're suddenly at this crossroads of, do I get dentures? Do I not? Do I keep going the path I'm going? Do I get implants? Do I get crowns? All these different things. And the bottom line is that it comes out of the lack of confidence or the lack of seeing healthy, believing that our mouth is healthy. And it's not to say it is, because in my situation, trust me, all the positive thinking in the world was not going to stop my teeth from going the way they were going. That's a reality. What I was able to do is say, I am overall happy. I am overall healthy. A few things that could help me with being happier would be lose A, do B, get C, and dentures is one of them. Guaranteed. And not only was it going to make me happier and more confident, it will be healthier. Because having pieces of plastic and porcelain in my mouth, fine. What's new for me? It's not. But I tell you what doesn't belong in there anymore is rotting, decaying, breaking teeth. They are doing me no good anymore. None. Examples. So what are the 4 types of self-image? Physical, how you evaluate your appearance. Psychological, how do you evaluate your personality? Intellectual, how do you evaluate your intelligence? Skills, how do you evaluate your social and technical skills? What I think is important to know with that is that even if you feel one thing is not lacking, but maybe it's just not where you feel you want it to be. 1, how can you raise it? How can we fix it? 2, just understand and know there's so many different parts to you beyond how you look, be it to yourself or to someone else. Is looking at yourself and loving yourself for who you are and what you look like no matter what a really wonderful thing? Yeah. But that's not to say that there's days that I struggle. Absolutely. There's a reason I don't strut around my house without wearing my dentures. That's the real truth. I don't do that. I still do love myself enough that I sit here and talk to you guys about it. I mean, I don't know, that's just a play on where even though my physical could be lacking for the day or the night, I still want to help others. And I attribute that to some piece of my personality where even if I literally hop on here in my jammies half the time. I'm wearing makeup that I had been wearing all day long at work. I don't wear faceless. I don't wear no makeup. I don't get on here not wearing makeup. My goodness. Because I just don't like, I don't know, it's not my favorite to not wear my makeup. I feel like this looks better in professional. But I can also speak on intelligence for myself. I have the intelligence to know that there's a void, there's a gap between people getting dentures or wondering if they should get dentures and then them having support or someone to walk them through some kind of a process or steps or expectations, and then having someone care about them after the fact. Someone who Maybe it's not the significant other who already has to hear it day in and day out. That's where I was. I was in a situation where I can't keep talking to them about it. I don't want to. I don't want Matt to always have to listen to me about my dentures, but that's my own personal, thing. And he doesn't need to hear about these kind of conversations anyways. They don't relate to him. Being in an abusive relationship, I didn't need to talk to him about it. I didn't want to. I wanted to talk to someone who cared. Here we are. And your technical skills, well, still working on the editing processes, but we'll get there. Okay. A person's and that was from greatness.com. So GR8ness.com. A person's self-image is based on how they see themselves, while self-concept is a more comprehensive evaluation of the self, largely based on how a person sees themselves, values themselves, thinks about themselves, and feels about themselves. Very cliche, but do you love yourself? Do a serious gut check here for a second. And I strongly encourage you to, once again, and I'm going to keep using this because it's such a wonderful, for me it hits home. Imagine you're sitting in front of the child version of yourself. And I'm talking like, 10 years old, a high schooler even, whatever, 4 years old. For me, 4-year-old strikes home because I instantly can think about my own child. But imagine you're looking at them and telling them, I don't love you. That is such a hard and heavy thing to say to any child, let alone the child version of yourself who may have struggled with some things. I mean, it firsthand, literally. So before you say you don't love yourself, please think about that for a minute and let it sink in. And I'll play devil's advocate. Maybe you still say the same thing. If you do, and you look at the child version of yourself and you say, I don't love you, maybe get help. Because that is that's a very sensitive place to be in my opinion. I'm not your doctor. I'm not diagnosing anyone with anything here, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, the ideal self is the way in which a person would like to see himself. The social self is the way in which a person believes others see him. The treatment of the self-concept through multiple dimensions has allowed researchers to expand the role and importance of such self-images in consumer behavior. Not sure about that consumer part, but that is very interesting, and that's with www.emerald.com. Let's see. What else can we get from here? High self-esteem. Let's look at why is self-image important. We probably should have covered this in the very beginning of the video. Self-image is important because how we think about ourselves affects how we feel about ourselves and how we interact with others and the world around us. A positive self-image can boost our physical, mental, social, emotional, and spiritual well-being. I will tell you what, if this doesn't speak levels about me and possibly some of you guys, I don't know what does. When my crowns were falling out of my head, or even when I had shark teeth, I didn't feel special. I just didn't. I didn't understand how these friends of mine or other girls who were popular or whatever, I never understood where their confidence came from. Like, where? How? I'm over here over tweezing my eyebrows with teeth that are breaking left and right. I'm sheltered. I'm not allowed to go out and like socialize, staying at a friend's house or anything. Like, I just wasn't in a position to even begin to understand, where did you get that confidence from? Where? So I isolated. And then, as people would make fun of my teeth or whatever it was, it only got worse, because what am I supposed to do? When I'm bullied, my teeth don't even look like the other person's. Like, sure, at one point, maybe you and I had lost teeth around the same time or something, but my teeth would break and they would just stay that way. Like, for a long time. So there was no relatability there, and then throw me into young adulthood where I'm now getting reconstructional surgery left and right. What the heck is supposed to be relatable about that? Other girls are going with their moms to get their hair colored, to get new highlights for the summer. They're over at each other's houses doing nails. And I'm saying this not in a misogynist kind of way or anything, or a sexist. That is what my friends were doing. I had friends that were popular, and eventually they turned into bullies to me. And it was because I could never fit in. I just didn't fit in. And the more all of that happened, I became so socially awkward. There's even times now, and maybe this is normal, but I'm like, I could have addressed that differently. I could have worded that better, or whatever it is. But even that would get me made fun of sometimes. I'd give someone a compliment and somehow I got made fun of. Go frickin' figure. Maybe that's just because teenagers suck. But anyways. Not just them. I too was a teenager, and therefore, anyway. But even then, interaction just seemed so far beyond anything I could even have. And then, fast forward, I get my crowns. Beautiful, big, white, way too big for my face, maybe, in some people's opinion. Big, white, friggin' porcelain crowns. Every single one of my teeth. I'll tell you what happened when that happened. I will never forget, I took one selfie in my room with a cell phone that I had just gotten. I took one selfie. That was it. It didn't dawn on me that I should be happy and celebrating. It didn't hit me that I even hit a milestone. I just felt still separated and isolated. Like, no one's going to relate to me because I still have this secret now. This, basically dentures for a teenager. Who's going to relate to that? No one for me at the time. So I still had low self-esteem because I didn't see anything different. I still saw myself as Shark Girl. I still saw myself as losing my best friend because she called me a weirdo, because I was just trying to make her laugh during lunchtime. And God knows I didn't have my looks going for me, so I tried to be funny, and it just didn't work. There was just no getting past it. Fast forward, I color my hair black after I get a divorce. Okay, cool. I like how the black hair looks with my blue eyes. That's cool. I start filling in my eyebrows, and I stop over tweezing them. I even start reshaping them a little differently. Now all of a sudden they look like this. Cool. No one can tell me how I'm allowed to do my makeup anymore, so I changed that. You know what? I saw someone on Instagram with really big eyelashes. I want that. Target, here we go. Great. Awesome. Meanwhile, I still had a secret going on inside my mouth. I get my dentures and all of a sudden it just pulls together and it just makes sense. The few weeks after I got my dentures, I took so many pictures and I kept looking in the mirror to see if it was real, if it actually happened. I didn't act like that with my crowns. It was the best thing ever. And the fact that I did those things, now, here we are. Healthiest romantic relationship I'd ever been in, hands down. I'm the most confident with my son, being a mom, making decisions, helping him be healthy and happy. I'm the most confident in my job. I'm better at my job. I'm a better teammate because they see the confidence and the excitement and genuine happiness to just be alive. I'm high on life over here. And my team can feed off of that, and they do. Or I'm better at being more emotionally available to other people because I'm not sulking inside with myself anymore. I'm out here and open for someone else, and let me help you. That was an entire tangent. I'm sorry. What are 3 characteristics of healthy self-image? First, that was also from clevelandclinic.com. So 3 characteristics of healthy self-image. There's definitely more than 3 here, but that's fine. And this is from tutor, the number 2, the letter U.net. It says, for positive self-image, you feel confident. You compare yourself positively with your peers. You're content with how you look. You have beliefs in your own ability. Positive feedback received from friends and family on looks and abilities. I don't know about that last one, but sure. Okay. How do you build a strong, positive self-image? Let's look at this site. This is atriumstaff.com, atriumstaff.com. 10 rules for building stronger, more positive self-image. The first one is give yourself credit. While it sounds simple enough, how often have you attributed something you achieved to luck or being in the right place at the right time? Those of you just listening and not watching, I'm pointing at my face. People with a strong self-image attribute their accomplishments to their hard work and efforts. Yeah, I would say I do that 99.9% of the time. I attribute most of my success to sheer dumb luck. Luck of the Irish. But that's not true. I do attribute some things to the universe, and this is how things were meant to be. Even a little bit to do with like karma and manifestation, but also the fact that I'm not going to sit here and hope and pray for something without working for it. I'm not going to just get something because the universe said so. It's going to be because I also put in the work to have it. I deserved it. Be present. People with positive self-image are present in this moment, right now. They don't focus on regrets, nor do they spend time longing for a future. Right now as we speak, it looks like you have access to internet. There are people who don't have access to internet. It Sounds like you can hear. If not, looks like you can see. If you're here, it looks like you're sitting here trying to learn something. You're trying to feel supported. And that's a really wonderful thing to feel and to have. So be in it. Stop worrying about the decisions you made in the past that affected your teeth now. Stop trying to figure out what are all the things that can go wrong with dentures. What are all the things that can happen and go right from making one decision? If you're one decision away from making yourself happier, regardless of what it is, whether it is about the dentures or pursuing a relationship or change your job or whatever it is, within reason, please be smart about it. Don't just drop your job today and say, Danielle told me to. Please. But you're one decision away, one step away. And that will happen when you're good and ready. But right now, you are living, you are breathing. Let me see that smile real quick. Look. I'm going to make myself cry. It's going to be okay. You're here for a reason. Stay in this moment with me. We got this. Keep it real. If you're at all prone to dramatizing, you'll appreciate this. People with positive self-image don't over-exaggerate. They generally see things as they are without catastrophizing them and having the ability to remain level-headed when things get complicated. For me, I think about the fact that sometimes a situation that I'm looking at is much bigger than it actually is. And once again, I am one step away from solving the problem. It is okay to feel your feelings. That's not the point. Feel your feelings for a few minutes. Someone actually said that today at work. Feel your feelings for 5 minutes. Give yourself 5 minutes to feel it and be human. And then after that, go fix it. Go do what you need to do to make it right. Sorry, I had something in my eye. And it was not tears. Don't dwell on things. It can be hard to do, especially if you're really disappointed about the outcome of a major event. But people with a good self-image don't have time to dwell on negative outcomes. Instead, they look for ways they can learn from the experience and figure out how to improve for the next time. Life got us here for whatever reason, however it was, and here we are, and we're sitting here together. Regardless of why I'm sitting here, regardless of why you're sitting here, the person in the next state over is sitting here, it doesn't matter. And what good is it going to do us to sit there and beat ourselves up over it? Okay, some people have bad hygiene. Some people eat things they know they shouldn't. It doesn't matter. We're here now. It's done. Medical issues? Okay. What can I change about my medical issues or how I was born? I can't. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Acknowledge what you might have maybe done. Use that for something good. For me, I choose to give my son the best chance at good dental opportunities as possible. I'm always sitting in the bathroom with him while he's brushing his teeth to make sure he gets every single side and angle. Yes, brush your tongue. Why are you trying to skip brushing your tongue? Dang it, kid. He even plays with floss right now still. The little kid's floss picks. He just plays with it. It's practice. The point is that I use that for his awareness. I use my story for you guys. Whether it's to learn, to just not feel alone, if it's to give you permission to live your own truth, if it's to educate you to make your own decisions, if it's to inspire and invoke emotion, fine, great. I can't dwell on why things were the way they were. I'm just going to sit here and say they happened for a reason. Quite frankly, I'm happy having this support group. Stay in control of your emotions. That doesn't mean that people with positive self-image aren't emotional. Not at all. What it does mean is that they aren't ruled by them. Their relationships with others aren't at the mercy of their moods. I have a bad day at work. I take it out on Matt and my son. No. I feel my feelings on my drive home. I talk to my husband while I'm driving home. By the time I get home, I'm probably done ranting and talking about it. I physically walk through the front door. I listen to him tell me about his day. I talk to my son about his day. I'm good. That's it. I was upset and now I'm fine. What's for dinner? Let go. Okay, Frozen. Grudges and harboring negative feelings don't serve them in any way. They're skilled at letting go of negativity and making room for more positivity in their lives. I would say I'm here and there with it. And I'll tell you why. And if you can relate, great. If not, sorry. I don't harbor negative feelings, but I don't forget. I don't harbor them because, yes, I want to move on to something much bigger and brighter and something much more beautiful. Do I simply forget? No. Because I'll tell you one thing, is that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different outcome. I refuse to not learn from my mistakes. And dang it, if there's one thing I have in my life, is a lot of friggin' mistakes or life lessons. A lot. And if there's one thing I got out of all of them, it's the person I am today, and I absolutely love who I am today. I don't always make the best decisions ever, but I certainly make better ones than I used to. Be kind to yourself. Guys, I'm telling you, if you have a picture of your childhood self and you don't have it out somewhere already, go ahead and pause this video, go grab it. Okay, hi, welcome back. Put the picture right next to this video. Think about that child in that picture. What did it feel like when you were standing on the other side of that camera, when you were in that moment? What were you going through as a child? What are the things you had to deal with that maybe you don't think any child ever should have to? It happens. It's not to say it was on purpose, but it does happen. I know for sure I can think of a handful of things and situations where I can imagine myself right now and the times that I would be crying by myself. But I think about that girl and I remember how alone I felt, being that I didn't have friends. My parents weren't always the greatest. I'm not going to say they were the worst parents ever, because I certainly know I could have had it worse. There's a reason I just don't associate, but anyway. I think about that girl, and being who I am now, I wish I could just grab her and hug her tight and kiss her on top of the head. But not once would it ever cross my mind to say, you're not good enough. You deserve this. I don't love you. No one loves you. life isn't going to pan out for you. No, 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 no. I would hold her and say, this hurts so much, and you don't deserve this. You are going to come out of this situation, and you have no idea how beautiful of a heart you're going to have because of this. And the fact that you are not going to let this or any other next terrible situation make you hard and cold. You're actually going to become softer. You're going to become more warm and welcoming because you can understand what it feels like to be so isolated and hurt. And one day, this pain is going to be replaced by an actual family and love that you are never going to be able to fathom. And I love you. That's what I would say. So that is how we should try to talk to ourselves. No. Rule of thumb, talk to yourself the way you would an infant. There it is. Know that perfection is an illusion. Except for my teeth. I'm kidding. We're all striving to better ourselves in various ways, but if we have unrealistic goals, we're in for a lot of disappointment. Yeah, I would say so. Especially if you struggle with dental issues. Perfection is never going to happen. Yeah, I have dentures, and the dentures are perfect. I don't have teeth. That is not perfect. That is okay. Because I have a replacement. I have prosthetics for that. I have acne. So do a lot of other people. I inherited certain Irish qualities that I don't necessarily love. Like from my father's side, I apparently inherited a lazy eye. Okay, it's a good thing I love makeup. And I got this like nose. I contour it. And I have makeup for that. Is perfection real? No. But you can always strive to just be better, do better, feel better, have better, want better. We have that amazing ability as humans. We evolve. Take time to be grateful for what you have. Seriously. Even if you're not at the point where you have dentures yet, or whatever the outcome or whatever it might be, you still have a chance. You still have the opportunity to make that next decision, to make the next phone call, to ask someone for help. You have that. You can do that. If you're watching this video, that means you have internet. That means you can go online, book an appointment. Don't even call. Just book an appointment online. So many places do that now. You don't even have to talk to anybody. Just do it. But the point is there are other things besides your teeth. You have eyes. You have an eye. You have nice skin. You have clothes on your back. You have family. You have friends. You have loved ones. You have someone who does care about you. Hi, I am someone, to name one. Hi, you have, let's see, 668 other people. Sorry, 667, not including yourself. Unless you're not a subscriber, then sorry, you're not in that number, but whatever. 667 people plus, potentially, who are here not necessarily just to do better for themselves, but to be a part of this conversation. I'm assuming people who also recognize that there's a need for this kind of community and support group, and the support doesn't start or end with me. They are right here watching this video. They'll be watching this video when the time zone allows here on planet Earth. They are going to be right here in the comment section. So you have that. You have us. Before I get too emotional, then it starts talking about New Year's strategy. Yay! And that was on atriumstaff.com. Top 5 tips in improving self-image. Use positive affirmations correctly. I mean, I would say, I guess, doing them within realistic expectations. For example, I can't look in the mirror and say, I am now Rosie Huntington Whitley. No, I am not. I am Danielle. And there's that. Identify your competencies and develop them. I'm not an inferior human to anybody. There are ways that I could improve myself, because there always will be, because I am a human. I don't drink nearly enough water. I could do better as far as content here. I could be editing these videos. I just need to figure out the time and what software. The point. Learn to accept compliments. Now, this one, we all know here I don't do well with personally, so I am in no position to give advice here or perspective, other than the fact that I say thank you. Sometimes I say thank you several times, and that's all I can really say. And I do my best to give a compliment back. Eliminate self-criticism and introduce self-compassion. So check that inner voice and check them back with the quickness as hard as you can. The way I like to picture it in my head is, have you guys seen that movie Inside Out? Where it's all the little, like there's a few emotions in this little girl's head, and they all kind of run around and they run her body basically and regulate her feelings and stuff and how she interprets things. So for me, it's like that. It's an office, right? Bear with me. It's an office, and it has a whole bunch of desks. We'll call it 20. I always say 20. There's 20 Danielles running around in my head. And some of them are really organized, some of them are very chaotic, some of them are very plan-oriented, and then there's other ones who are super sporadic and spontaneous, and then there are ones who are very happy, and then ones that are a little more realistic, and other ones who are go with the flow, man, and then other ones who are like, no, you should be calculated, whatever it is. And then there is one who is an absolute jerk for no reason at all. That's my self-doubt. That is my inner critic. And not just a critic, but a bully. I refer to her, Danielle number 20, is a bully, and she comes last because she should be the last voice I ever listen to. Oh my gosh. No one needs to call help for me. I'm okay. I'm well aware that they're not real. This is just how I think about my brain. Not physically. God bless you guys for always sitting here for so long with me. But she just chimes in with the most ridiculous, intrusive thoughts sometimes. I will be in the middle of disciplining my son as far as like grounding him. We're not even getting into that. But I ground my son. I take away his TV, right? Because he was hitting at daycare. Can we all agree that hitting at daycare is not a good thing? It can actually get your child kicked out of daycare. And if you're like me, you work full time, you're not a stay-at-home mom, and you have bills to pay. Reality, okay? Kid gets kicked out of daycare, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing in general. So, he hits, I ground him, I say no TV, I take the TV out of his room, or I just take the remote because the TV is a Roku TV, it has no on button. So, I do that. And then this voice says, "You are the worst mom ever. You are so mean. Why would you do that? Like, why would you do that?" And then it turns into really awful thoughts. Like, awful. As far as like, what if this was his last night on earth? Like, who thinks like that? Who does that? Why? So I have to check her back and be like, where did you even come from? No one was even talking to you. Like, let me teach my child and you go away. Who invited you? No one had to invite me. I just sit here. Okay, well, no one was talking to you, so just stay there. Sorry, I know that was a little bit of a tangent. But introduce self-compassion. I'm not a mean mom. If anything, my son overrides a lot of things most of the time. Because sometimes it's just not worth the argument with a 4-year-old. And just knowing that I'm doing the right thing by disciplining him because I am teaching him a life lesson. We don't hit. It's unacceptable. And affirm your real worth is number 5. Your real worth. I'm not going to talk about you guys. Talking about myself. I am not the most important person on this planet, nor should I be. I don't want to be. I don't want to be. My makeup is apparently everywhere. I don't want to be President of the United States. I don't want to be a martyr or what. I don't know. I don't want to be that important to anybody or to the world or whatever. My son loving me and needing me, okay, yeah, that's one thing. However, if I were to be mean to him or put him in a situation that he's not happy, then I absolutely expect him to be upset with me. I am not the best thing since sliced bread, especially bread with butter on it. But I'm also not as worthless as the dirt under your feet. I'm not a doormat. I'm a living, breathing human who is just trying to make it through life, being the best person she can be, not doing too shabby at it, from what I hear from others. So that's nice. And I'm leading a pretty happy and fulfilling life right now. So, great. I'm doing good. Let's see. What are 6 important ingredients to self-image? They are goals, standards, success, experiences, comparison with others, recognition, and rewards. And rewards. Anyone else catch what I did there? Nah. Not if you're just listening. So, self-image. Goals. Let's talk about it. Because you talk about everything here. Goals. Since I got my dentures, let's see, or even before I got my dentures, I always wanted to have kids. Done. Always wanted to be married. Done. Wanted to get my dentures. Got them. When I was a younger adult, I had to teach myself how to drive. Did. Please, no one ask for that story. Please. I had to get myself my driver's license. Did it. With the help of my best friend. I wanted to have a support group built for a void or a gap that I felt was existing in the realm of people that wear dentures or thinking about getting them. Check. I always wanted to not just work full time, but to have my own little, call it a side hustle. But it's something I enjoy doing and I get paid to do it. Check. It's cleaning houses. I have one person I clean a house for. It's awesome. Do something because you enjoy it and it helps your community. Right here. Awesome. Do I want to have more kids? Yeah. Absolutely. Why wouldn't I? Do I want to move to another area of the city? Yes. My husband and I both do. To an even better area for our family. I have goals. I don't have time to sit here and dwell on things that aren't in my realm of control. Standards. Boy, did I have to learn those the hard way. Go through some serious dating. Wow. What do you even call that? I don't even know. Get some standards. New man. Check. Success experiences. Debatable for me. I mean, I definitely have a few. But they didn't really happen until recently. I booked myself my appointment for my dentures with the help of my insurance person that I was on the phone with. But I still had to initiate that phone call, so I did do that. I actually showed up to the appointment. I got it done. And I went back for a follow-up to get another tooth removed that was missed the first time. I am a pretty good parent. I read to my son every single night. I make sure he brushes his teeth. I do his hair every day. Unless he doesn't want me to, then we just leave it. He always has clean clothes. He always has food. Sometimes I give him way too much stuff as far as like going to the indoor parks or doing good at my job. I have a couple wins there. Comparison with others. I would say in a healthy way. In a very healthy way. When you can relate to people within reason and have some self-awareness with it, then yes, comparison to others. For example, let's say there's someone here who has an absolutely very sad outlook on the idea of getting dentures. Very hypothetical here, so stick with me. Someone who knows they have to get dentures inevitably, but they see no positives to it. Well, maybe if they sit here with us, with me, if you're here with me, hopefully some of the content here is going to help inspire you to see it in a different frame. Recognition. Yeah. If you don't get recognition, drop some context in the comments, because you know I will answer you. That's a fact. Be it a whole video to yourself, apparently, a part of a video, or a direct comment back. Let me know. And if you're not comfortable putting it in the comments, email me. Danielle, denturediary@gmail.com. And rewards. Treat yourself. Do your eyebrows. Throw on some lashes. Do your nails. Color your hair. Go buy yourself something. Eat a snack that you really like. Give yourself a movie night. I just don't want to refer to it as someone else should be rewarding you. I think you should reward yourself, because that's more self-sustaining. Don't wait for someone else to give it to you. Matter of fact, the recognition piece, I want to go back for a second. Give yourself recognition. I'll give it too, because I know what it's like to struggle with that. But give yourself some credit. You've been through a lot. And you're still standing. You're still swinging. Seriously, sit back and think about your life for a second. Holy crap. It's crazy. I hope this conversation helps somebody. I hope this is a good effort to help somebody. And if you do like videos like this one, please give it a thumbs up. I do have another question for you guys before we close out this video. I'd like feedback on a potential series that I would also like to do. It would be a series where I envision, let's say, someone who has no one physically there to support them when they go to the dentist office or making phone calls. What if I recorded and made videos for you to listen to while you do those things? So the way I'm kind of thinking on it would be videos where, you know, I might be saying something encouraging. Maybe I'm talking about things to distract you. Not to say that you guys can't listen to something else, but maybe if you guys had a video specifically geared towards that and making you not feel alone. I mean, it's an idea. The whole intention behind it is just to make you guys not feel like you're alone. And yet, at the same time, depending on your situation, if it's really dire and you need this taken care of, I'm happy to do a series on that. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about a series like that. Depending on the comments I get, I probably would have already created some videos doing the series, but if I get comments that people are like, oh, that's the worst idea ever, I'll delete them and make different videos. But just a thought, just an idea, since I can't physically travel to each person and help. So let me know Yeah. So if you're not subscribed right now, but you would like to be notified of any future videos that I make, go ahead and hit the subscription button. Sorry, I was trying to think. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.